Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Lloyd.
I'm Amanda Peralta. Thank you for watching WGXA News at 5:30. Our Skywatch weather team has been tracking gusty thunderstorms in Middle Georgia on this Wednesday afternoon.
Meteorologist Ryan Mirando joins us now with an update on some of the storms. Ryan.
Greg, Amanda, we are still tracking some of the storms. They have had a history of producing some small hail and some gusty downpours, mostly south of Macon right now over Houston County. Not everyone is getting hit with a lot of the heavy downpours. Most of us are dry, but the one small cell that was severe warned, not at this point, just a normal thunderstorm, mostly moving in southern Houston County. Perry still getting some of the rain, but the heaviest downpours in northern Pulaski County, north of Hawkinsville, over near Unadilla and Byronville, also getting some of the heavy downpours. These will be lingering around, but not everyone will see the rain for tonight. A live lookout over Macon with our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast Network can see some of those dark clouds off there in the distance, but temperatures are still pretty warm. We're now a rain-cooled 79 degrees here in Macon. So for the rest of your Wednesday night, we will have some of those scattered storms around. Most of us will be dry, though. 85 degrees at 7 o'clock, 76 by 10, and temperatures will cool down into the mid-60s through the overnight hours and getting ready for your Thursday. So looking ahead at what's coming up, we still could have some storms around for tonight. We have a front that's pushing through tomorrow that could give us a few more rounds of some severe weather, and there is more smoke in the atmosphere that's on the way. I'll break it all down coming up in your full forecast. Greg, Amanda.
All right, Ryan, thank you. And now's a great time to download the free WGXA weather app. Ryan is back in less than 20 minutes with your full forecast. Well, on a sunny day, there's nothing better than a nice swim when it's hot outside, but Macon's pools have been hit or miss in recent years due to a shortage of lifeguards.
We have been continuing coverage tonight on a story we first brought to you last month. Macon is relying on a company in Atlanta to fix the years-long problem. Now, Brianna Cook is here now with that story. Brianna?
Greg and Amanda, just last month, we wanted to know how aquatic management was going to handle Macon's shortage of lifeguards. They wouldn't talk then, but today they did.
WGXA News has been covering the shortage of lifeguards. It's happening both locally and across the country. It's a problem Macon has battled for several years now. Just last month, Bibb County leaders approved spending $368,000. That money will go to aquatic management, putting them in charge of hiring and management of our public pools. Now summer is here and pools are opening, and Macon still needs lifeguards. Aquatic management is based in Atlanta but spent their day in Macon looking for lifeguards for all 9 of Bibb County public pools. We tried to talk to the company last month, wanting to know how their efforts would differ from what Bibb County has done in the past. They declined our interview requests. But today, at a hiring event held at Memorial Gym, Aquatic Management Mary Grace Howard says they are progressively seeking people to fill the open positions.
Events like this, word of mouth, we're reaching out, the media obviously, and then we have ads out. We update our ads almost every day for City of Macon. Of course, we put up our ads and have been aggressively recruiting through Indeed and ZipRecruiter, but we felt the need to come down here in person to do some more recruiting.
They plan on hiring 90 lifeguards in the next 3 weeks, with a starting pay varying from $12 to $18 depending on age and experience. In order to qualify, you have to be at least 15 years old and be Red Cross certified, which is being offered through Aquatic Management. Candidates are also given a basic swimming test. Certification involves a 5 to 6 hour online course and a physical test where applicants will need to swim 12 laps, tread water for 2 minutes, and bring a brick from the deep end to the top of the water. Howard says their test is important to confirm a lifeguard knows how to swim, but there will also be rules implemented at the pools for parents with children.
With our swim test being performed, we'll be able to identify the non-swimmers, and what we enforce is called touch supervision. So that would mean parents for the non-swimmers would have to be in the water with the kids, and we need somebody like Raheem to facilitate the following of the rules.
The pools at South Bibb Recreation Complex and East Macon Park are open for the season. The Bloomfield pool will not open due to mechanical issues. A schedule for the other 6 pools has not been released yet. Reporting live in studio, Brianna Cook, WGXA News.
All right, thank you, Brianna. And new opportunities for employment are on the way to Lawrence County in the form of an $18 million investment.
That's right, and it will be the first of its kind here in Dublin and in the U.S. Carlos Stevens took to the streets of Dublin to see what Dublin business owners think about the new idea of the new manufacturing facility coming to Lawrence County. Carlos, what did they tell you?
Guys, more than 100 jobs are coming to Lawrence County thanks to a new manufacturing facility. And several business owners I spoke to say they not only think that it will be a great benefit to the county, but a benefit to their businesses as well.
More customers for Miller Soul Food. We've been here since 1955.
That's Shanita Brown's reaction after I told her and her husband that Georgia Governor Brian Kemp announced plans for a new automotive parts manufacturing facility in Dublin. The investment from Woolry Industrial Company will bring 130 new jobs. Woolry specializes in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning components for the automotive industry. Rodney Brown says he believes it'll be an economic boost for the community.
It'll probably increase the tax base here, bringing new revenue.
Now, the Woolry will be hiring for a variety of positions, and Brown also believes it opens the door for young adults when it comes to education.
Kids can start taking more technical classes.
Classes he believes will land them a job, something Maggie Gilbert believes people are desperate for.
We need good paying jobs because people need to support their families.
Dublin Mayor Joshua Kite also issued a statement on the new South Korean company investment in Lawrence County. It reads, quote, Woolry's commitment to placing existing manufacturing building back into service helps to promote more infill development while creating new career paths for our community. We are pleased to welcome Woolry to the Dublin community, unquote. Reporting in Dublin, I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA News.
After multiple lawsuits, the Macon-Bibb County Commission has chosen an election supervisor. Interim Supervisor Tom Gillian is set to permanently take over the position. Gillian has served in the interim role since 2022 after the former supervisor resigned. Since then, the Elections Board and Commission went back and forth in the courts for more than 9 months to determine who gets to choose the election supervisor. The lawsuit was dismissed in May due to a, quote, fatal flaw for violating the Georgia Constitution's conditions for waiving the sovereign immunity that protects government entities from being sued.
And in the second cycle for the Macon Violence Prevention Program, the county gave out over $800,000 to aid 31 different nonprofit or faith-based organizations in their crime prevention efforts.
They awarded the funds to continue or create programs focused on long-term violent crime prevention. One organization received their second round of funding from MVP program today. They say the money will help them address the deeper issues that lead to youth violence in Macon.
Emotionally with a lot of underlying issues that they do not know how to properly deal with. This funding is going to allow us to get them the individual and most times family counseling that they need so that they can perform, so that they can excel academically, emotionally, and socially.
This cycle, the county gave out $235,000 more in awards than last cycle. Mayor Lester Miller says it's due to the promising work seen coming from the previous round of grantees.
Longtime Perry Council member Riley Hunt announced he's stepping down from his District 3 Post 2 role in July. Hunt says he's stepping down for health and family reasons after serving on the council for almost 20 years. Bibb investigators are on the hunt for the suspect who shot 2 teens last night, sending them to the hospital. Deputies responded to emergency calls and shot spotter notifications for Campbell Avenue around 8:30 last night. That's where deputies found 2 teen boys with gunshot wounds. They say one 16-year-old appeared to be shot in the neck and a 15-year-old appeared to have been shot in his chest. Both are now listed in critical condition. Deputies have not released information on a suspect. If you have information, please call them or Macon Regional Crime Stoppers.
Crisp County deputies say they've caught their man who was the suspect in an officer-involved shooting back in March. Deputies say 38-year-old Antonio Brown was arrested last night after a tip that he was at a Motel 6 in Cordele. Brown was wanted for running from deputies who responded to calls about after a woman reported being followed and threatened by Brown. He drove away from deputies until he was stopped by construction and then drove toward them. That's when they tried to approach the vehicle, causing one of the deputies to fire at the car. Before the incident in March, Brown was already wanted on gun and drug charges.
And in Macon, four young people are behind bars for shooting at a housing community. Deputies say 20-year-old Briel Johnson, 17-year-old Brandon Willis, and two 16-year-olds drove past Pendleton homes and fired rounds. No one was hurt in the incident. Deputies were able to arrest the suspects after the vehicle was seen in the Pendleton homes area the next day. Deputies also found two guns in the car. You've heard of bank robbers, but what about bank burglars? Deputies in Monroe County say that's exactly who they're looking for following a Tuesday morning bank break-in. Investigators say it happened sometime between 4 and 5 in the morning at the United Bank in Bolingbroke. Deputies say the suspects broke through a wall, but they aren't saying what's stolen. And deputies say the crime may be connected to the theft of this 2022 Isuzu utility truck out of Bolingbroke. They say it was stolen from Michael Asphalt Paving. It has no tag or markings on it at the time it was stolen. The thieves also took off in a black pickup truck, but deputies say they've already located it. If you know anything, call the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. And a big scene in Monroe County this morning after a dump truck was hit by a train. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says the wreck happened on Highway 42 south at the Rock Quarry around 7:30. We spoke to the driver this morning who says the crossing is missing an important component.
And looked down the railroad track, didn't see anything. Started off, just as I started off, I heard the train home. They really need to set a cross arms out here, because if they had the cross arms, it would pick it up when the train's up yonder in that blind spot. Well, when it comes through here running 45 or 50, I mean, I actually was not even on the track when we made contact. I had already stopped and was attempting to back up.
The wreck caused only minor delays in the area.
And a wreck on Hartley Bridge Road early this morning leaves one man dead. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says 24-year-old Thomas Green was near Arnold Drive around 6 this morning when he went off the road in his Chevy Tahoe. They say Thomas was ejected from the vehicle and crushed when it overturned on him. Deputies say they were able to free him, but he was pronounced dead on scene just after 7:30. No one else was injured in the crash. A Middle Georgia family is speaking out during their tremendous time of grief in the hope that they can save lives. It comes after a Macon woman died over the Memorial Day travel period.
The family invited our Gloria Ruth Finney to the funeral and visitation to speak with her about the consequences one wrong decision can have on so many lives.
We were two peas in a pod.
This is Walter Fuller. He's the brother of Angelina Brittany Fuller.
I mean, she literally was a ray of sunshine for our entire family.
He says he should be combing through photos with his sister in preparation for his wedding next weekend. Instead, he's saying goodbye. Fuller was killed by a drunk driver this past Memorial Day. She was just 34 years old.
If anyone, young, old, whatever, goes out and they drink, I just want them to remember that you can hurt yourself, but you should think about you can take someone's loved one away from someone else.
He says he wants people to realize their actions have lasting effects on others.
You can cause a person to cease to exist. You can take someone's mom, you can take someone's sister, you can take someone's brother, you can take someone's family member, and they'll never see them again. Regardless of what happens to you, that person never comes back.
This time period between Memorial Day and Labor Day is often called the deadliest days of summer. It's when driving-involved fatalities are more likely to occur. Georgia's State Patrol reports close to 400 drunk driving arrests just this past Memorial Day weekend.
I feel like he should have stayed where he was at. I feel like he shouldn't have got on the road because he didn't know how it would affect me.
Ayanna Fuller is Brittany's daughter. She's just 12 years old, but after losing her mother, she's forced to think about the future in a way she shouldn't have to.
I feel like after the funeral, when I go back to school and everything, I won't be able to function without my mom. She was there with me my whole entire life. It was just so unexpected.
Fuller's brother said the drunk driver that killed his sister has a history of traffic violations, including 5 suspended licenses and a hit and run. The family has set up a GoFundMe to help Fuller's daughter. If you would like to help, we have a link to this web story on our website, WGXA.tv.
Well, last month, the FDA issued 30 warning letters to retailers for illegally selling unauthorized tobacco products. It's a move seen as a result of the nationwide blitz to crack down on the sale of illegal e-cigarettes that are popular and even marketed towards children. In 2020, the FDA tried to press pause on manufacturers pumping out the product, most famously with Juul pods. But now new disposable e-cigarettes are lighting up social media. It's a problem the FDA has been trying to put out, with more than 5 million U.S. middle and high school students using e-cigarettes in 2019. The former director of the National Drug Control Policy, Jim Carroll, says this problem needs to be extinguished.
We should be horrified by this, knowing that these are dangerous, potentially lethal, and making sure that they don't wind up in the hands of our children. We need to be aggressive in our actions to stop traffickers from sending dangerous drugs, dangerous devices to the U.S. Now we know these dangerous, illegal, flavored vaping pens that are disposable from China.
FDA banned flavor cartridge-based e-cigarettes in 2019. Carroll says a loophole in the federal regulation has allowed disposable vapes with those enticing flavors like bubblegum and pina colada to flood the market. Since January of 2021, though, through May of 2023, the FDA issued more than 560 warning letters to manufacturers, all in the efforts to take action to stop the distribution or sale of illegal e-cigarette products.
The heavy smoke from Canada's wildfires is impacting air travel here in the U.S. In New York City, the Federal Aviation Administration is pausing and delaying flights at regional airports, including at LaGuardia, which was briefly placed under a ground stop alert due to low visibility. State officials call it the worst air quality New York has seen in 2 decades. Apart from the Big Apple, the FAA says the hazy conditions are also affecting flights through Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and D.C.
The White House is urging Americans to take care as smoke from those Canadian wildfires spreads across the U.S. More than 55 million people across the country are under air quality alerts. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says President Biden is receiving regular updates on the smoke. She says the administration has been in touch with state and local leaders, including those in Michigan, Illinois, and New York.
We encourage everyone in the impacted areas to listen to their state and local officials. Check in on your neighbors, check in on your friends and your family. Take precautions, especially if you have health conditions.
Jean-Pierre calls it an alarming example of how the climate crisis is impacting our lives. She notes the Biden administration is in touch with the government of Canada. The White House has deployed more than 600 U.S. firefighters and personnel to help Canada battle those fires.
Southern fringes of kind of that smoke. We haven't really been as bad as up near New York City, but we have been getting some light haze out over the sky. We could get another round of some smoke that comes through tomorrow with a cold front. So that cold front will be moving through tomorrow evening. This does bring the threat for some severe storms for Macon and southward, but that does also come with some extra smoke particles that gives us some hazy sunshine. We aren't really going to notice a big difference, but the sunrises and sunsets could be pretty spectacular with all the colors reflecting some of those reds and oranges. If you do take any pictures, make sure to tag me on social media. Today, though, we are still having to deal with some pop-up showers and storms that have been firing up. This one batch of storm that we were tracking that was a severe warm storm earlier that's moving south of Warner Robins, not a severe warm storm at this point, but still has some frequent downpours, some frequent lightning and some heavy downpours, mostly over Hawkinsville right now, Unadilla south, right east of I-75 over towards Cochran, getting some of the heavy downpours right now. A little bit farther north, just into southern Jones County, that just moved over 129 south of Gray. Also got a little bit of this heavy downpour right now. So for the rest of tonight, we will have some scattered showers and storms, but most of us will stay dry. Temperatures pretty varying from some of those showers, bringing some rain-cooled air. Only 78 degrees right now in Macon, but it's 90 still over in Wrightsville, 88 in Dublin, 86 in Forsyth, and still 91 down in Montezuma. So it's all about location. Once you get that rain that really comes down over you, it really cools things off And also our air quality has still been pretty high. We've been into the moderate category really over the past 12 hours. This is really just, most of us are unaffected from this, but if you have, or if you're sensitive to some air pollution, you could be noticing some symptoms from it. However, as this front begins to push through tomorrow afternoon, we could get another plume of some smoke. Really should be high enough in the atmosphere where we just kind of get some of that hazy sunshine tomorrow, and the sunrises and sunsets could look pretty spectacular over the next few days. With that front that also comes through, it does bring the threats for some severe storms on a scale out of 1 to 5. The areas shaded here are at a 1. This means we could see an isolated storm or two turn severe if we do see that, or for some hail. So timing it out around 2 o'clock tomorrow, a few of the storms firing up. Most of the day will be dry. These storms will be very scattered. Here's about 6 o'clock, 1 or 2 of the storms firing up. And then by 11 o'clock for your Thursday evening, most of the rain should be out of here. So not everyone will get hit with the rain, but a few of them may turn severe. For the rest of tonight, temperatures will cool down into the mid 60s. And tomorrow we'll get some of that hazy sunshine before the scattered thunderstorms fire up. By the afternoon, the high 88 degrees, but not everyone will get hit by the rain. But a good idea to keep your eye to the sky in case of those storms do turn severe. So in your 10-day forecast for your Thursday, that hazy sunshine, the high 88 degrees with some scattered storms for areas Macon southward for really the afternoon and into the evening hours. But then a refreshing air mass really fills in for its place for Friday and Saturday. Bright sunshine, temperatures still pretty seasonable, 88 on Friday, 90 less humid on Saturday. On Sunday, the humidity gets to increase again, a few more clouds in the sky, a high of 90 degrees, and then that humid summertime air mass fills in for its place by the next work week. Temperatures in the low 90s, possibly even getting into the mid 90s by next Wednesday with a high 93 degrees. And lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop fishing game forecast. Peaks at 6 a.m. and 6:20 p.m.
Everyone, I'm Gary Thigpen, and I'm here again at Middlensville at the Animal Rescue Foundation. I'm joined again today with Aline, and guess who we have today?
This is Georgia. She is the sibling to Jenny. She is the calmer version of Jenny, who is her sister. They're both very sweet. They're about 4 months old, probably pit lab mixes. Come here, baby. And they are super sweet. And just loving
energetic,
puppies.
as you can see.
Yes, yes. Now Georgia will calm down a little bit. Hey baby, I know.
Oh, look at that. That is so sweet. You said she's about 4 months old?
About 4 months old. She is fully vetted and microchipped.
All right, guys, if you want to go ahead and adopt Georgia, how would they go about doing that?
So
or Jenny, her sister.
Yes. So they're going to go to animalrescuefoundation.org, and they are going to click on how to adopt, fill out the app, and we'll be in touch.
All right, let's do that. Let's find Georgia and her sister, Jenny, a good home. Let's do that today, folks. Thank you so much, Ellen.
Thank you.
Life in plastic is fantastic. You too can get a taste of Barbie's world at a fast casual restaurant inspired by the iconic plastic Barbie doll, now open in Chicago. The Malibu Barbie Cafe opened its doors Wednesday and will be open through September 15th. The pop-up features Barbie colors and California beach vibes. With the Barbie-themed menu, it also features a life-size Barbie box that visitors can enter to take photos. The immersive experience comes ahead of this summer's release of the new Barbie comedy, starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling as Barbie and Ken. The Barbie film is set to hit theaters July 21st.
I should be working there. I need to go hire.
Do you think that you're Ken?
Sure. I don't know.
You even have to ask.
I don't know about that, but I feel like it would be fun to eat that. Eat that.
What was the Barbie song back in the day?
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Yeah, just like that.
That was pretty good.
It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it really was something like that.
I made of plastic. Something like that. I don't know what the words are.
Keep going, man.
Please keep going, serenading
Oh
us.
no, I don't know the rest of the words. I ran out of words.
It was a cute little cafe, though. I would go.
I know. I would go too. Let's go. We're going, Greg. You're coming.
We'll
with
go.
us.
Are we?
You're coming with us.
No. Okay. That's it for WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.
Have a good night.